In a lot of smaller buildings, we have water-cooled or air-cooled package units. These are, you'll see them in a lot of cases. I've got a picture of, there's some air-cooled package units in the next sheet there, and you see these frequently in a lot of buildings. What do we see there? Well, water-cooled package units, sadly I have to say the available technology for water-cooled package units are not very exciting. I actually spent part of last week lobbying Carrier to do something about giving us some half-decent water-cooled package units, because even when you replace them, the units are not very good. So the most important thing to do is replace the units that fall into pieces, which frequently they are. And the other is to install condenser water shutoff valves. What do I mean by that? Well, if we've got a water-cooled package unit, a little bit like a chiller, it's got a cold bit, which has typically got air going through it, and it's got a hot bit, which rejects heat, and that goes off to a cooling tower. So this has got water running through to cool the package unit down. Now, the way these systems are generally set up, that water runs irrespective of what this unit is doing. So we end up at the top of the building with a chonking grate pump running continuously, most of the time circulating water through package units that don't need any water. So by installing a valve that turns on and off with the package unit compressor, we can make a massive improvement in the energy efficiency of this unit. Again, case example was a building where we had a condenser water circuit, which had lots of these water-cooled package units on it, and it was running at 80 kilowatts flat load. So the motor that was driving that pump was 80 kilowatts all the time. So we put the isolating valves that just turned on and off, so that they only gave the unit water while there was a demand for cooling, and we reduced the pump from 80 kilowatts to 8 kilowatts. So half a star for that building, just by fixing that. Other things, well, of course, again, turn it off. Turn off your water-cooled package units if they're not needed. Widen the dead bands. What do I mean by widening a dead band? The dead band is the space between when you are heating and when you are cooling. So if you are operating with a small dead band, it means that you might go, I'm heating, I'm cooling, I'm heating, I'm cooling, I'm heating and cooling. And that's what happens actually with units where the dead bands are too small. So you separate those out, typically by 1 or 2 degrees. In fact, my preference is 2 degrees. And it's amazing what a difference that makes. Because then, particularly with a package unit, you've got a compressor turning on and off. They're pretty crude, so you don't want these things too close, because they will go heating, cooling, like that. Good bit of space, so you can keep the distance. Refrigerant charge. A great US statistic, 70% of rooftop air conditioners have the wrong refrigerant charge. We tested that on a building in Liverpool, in Sydney, and the answer was 90% had the wrong refrigerant charge. So you can pretty much guarantee that if you check, you'll find the refrigerant charge is wrong. And clean the filters. People tend to look at these things as low maintenance systems, and so the filters get dirty, and they cease performing. Exactly the same issues for air-cooled package units, except that air-cooled package units, we have inverter compressors available to us, which give us another 30 or 40% efficiency relative to a standard compressor. And so there's some real meat to be had just on replacement.